Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hard Nine podcast. Today is Star Wars Day, New Orleans Day, but not the Cardinals Day, as they dropped to 10-22, losing their sixth in a row, placing them at the very bottom of the worst cellar you could ever be in, called the National League.
Right now, they don't deserve any love from the fan base. I don't think anybody should show up. The ownership doesn't deserve the fans' money. John Mozeliak's I don't know why Taylor Motter's on this roster. Ali Marmol, a guy I have been defending harder than almost anybody, made one of the dumbest fucking decisions I've ever seen today. I mean, the players look like, other than Wilson and maybe Tommy, they look like they have no energy. Jack Flaherty and the rest of the starting rotation have all, actually, except for Monty, have been pathetic. The bullpen blew another game last night. I don't give a singular fuck about this team anymore, and I don't know why I should, because they don't care. How are you 10-22? You're worse than the Colorado Rockies, the team that had its second highest paid player is your superstar third baseman, and you have a worse record than them. Why should I give a fuck about you? No one should. Stop going to the games.
Oh, listen, I tweeted it. First of all, thank you all for joining. If you're new to the program, this is Caleb immediately after a Cardinals loss. So welcome. Thank you for joining. For those of you who continue
to join immediately after the sixth straight loss.
Thank you all for joining us. Now that you're all fired up like we all should be, if you'd like to go ahead and follow us, here's our socials. You can get even more of this wonderful banter every day if you'd like. Also hit that subscribe button. Our subscriptions have gone up big time since the Cardinals have been garbage. So hey, look at us. Listen. I tweeted today that how hilarious would it be after Jack laid an absolute fucking egg if the entire crowd just got up and left. Like, that would have been one of the funniest things I would have ever seen in my life. Here's the problem with what you're saying. It's twofold. A lot of people have already paid the money for their tickets for the Cardinals, right? So now by you saying that, you are asking a lot of people who have shelled out a lot of their hard-earned money to not now use what they chose to put their entertainment money towards. All right. And you're asking them not to do it. That's a hard, no, let me finish. That's a hard thing to do. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that's a hard thing to do. But I do think, the last two nights, I was not there. I was watching the game tonight. I watched the wrap up on MLB TV this morning because we were out last night at a concert. The boos are loud, bro. The boos are loud. But when you still have 41,000 at an afternoon game, I don't know. Like, I think, unfortunately, you're asking a lot. I was there in the mid 90s and the early 90s when no one was at the games. No one was at the games for a while. Mm-hmm. And it still took them 10 years almost to make dramatic changes. And I got a lot to say. I got a lot to say, and I don't know. I don't even know how to, my thoughts are never organized anyway. So I don't even know where to go.
If you've paid money to go to the games, don't go in one of their parking garages and give them your $25, and don't buy a beer or a food.
Bring a flask, bring an unopened
soda
bottle. Boom. Well, they're not going to find out.
Either way, just don't. I'm over it with this team. I'm over with this organization. They have one starter, and it's Jordan Montgomery, who's been amazing, and he's not even going to be here next year, because why the fuck would you come back? Get the hell out.
Yeah.
They have one starter with an ERA under 5.7. We knew this was a problem. It's been a problem for 3 years. And yeah, you can point to all those guys are injured. And I've made that point as well, because it's true. All the guys that would have been, Verlander made his first start today. But that's also kind of bailing them out, because they didn't know that was going to happen.
Right. Correct.
So at the same time, I get that that's the argument, because you would say, well, maybe if you would have signed, let's just say Verlander, you'd probably still be where you are because he wouldn't have helped you, which is accurate. But still, they didn't know that. So they were going into another season. And this is what Mo said before the season. We're making our bet on Steven Matz and Jack Flaherty. How's your bet going? And when are you going to, and that's not a bet either. Because you're not going to lose. What are you losing? You're not going to get fired.
So let's work our way backwards, and then let's get to the organization a little bit. Just a little bit about today. Jack was absolutely awful. I texted you. He didn't even look like he wanted to be there. I'm not going to make that. I'm not going to make that speculation, because I don't believe that that's the case. I think he was pissed off about a lot of things. He had zero location. He just looked like he was like.
When does he have location?
Now let's talk about a couple things that happened today, because then we're just going to kick that to the curb.
You want to talk about Jack first, because I have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Jack, because also,
His demeanor on the mound is pathetic.
That's what I'm saying. It looked like he did not want to be there. And that's not what I'm saying. Please understand, the people listening, Jack takes a lot of flack for a lot of shit. I am not personally saying Jack Flaherty did not want to make that start today. So please do not misconstrue my words. Body language, however, is a lot of things. And there could have been a whole lot of shit going on that we don't know about. Maybe he didn't feel. We have no idea. What I do know is
why was he whiny?
What I do know is also he gave up 9 hits before our pitching coach made a trip to the mound to see what was going on. Wilson Contreras comes out and he looks pissed at Wilson. What do you want him to do? Like, what do you want Wilson Contreras to do at this point, bro? You didn't hit location on at one point in the 3rd inning, Caleb, the Angels were 9 for 14 on 2-strike pitches. Like, Jack Flaherty, what do you want people to do, bro?
I'm over it. Like, I'm over his shtick. Why was he so pissy on the mound? What are you mad at? You hung. Right. Why are you hanging curveballs to Luis Rengifo? How are you so bad? Like, I like Jack Flaherty, but I'm over it. I'm over him. I'm over Tyler O'Neill. I'm over these players that we've been saying, well, what if? What if they're not doing it?
Agreed.
Tyler O'Neill looks awful.
Yeah, and a lot of guys, by the way, those are 2 guys you and I have been very vocal in support of. I'm close to being an Astros fan at this point, however.
I am going to say that I'm done defending them.
Yes, I agree.
You're Major League Baseball players both making a lot of money and not performing, either of you. Jack has had some good starts this year. I mean, okay. Like, we were worried about I don't want to be super mean to Jack, but at the end of the day, we were worried about the Dodgers taking him away from us. At this point, the Dodgers would want nothing to do with them.
Right.
Like, right. I don't know. Like, if one thing is a positive, I guess he hasn't outpriced himself from us because he might make $2 million next year. He might get a pay cut in free agency. I don't know what's happening.
To be fair, I also was the guy who thought Steven Matz was going to have the bounce back. He's probably out of the rotation here soon. We are at a point now at 10-22 where we are really hoping. And this is, again, no shot because you know that Adam Wainwright sits on my Mount Rushmore of favorite Cardinals of all time. But we're now hoping a 41-year-old who throws 85 miles per hour can come in and save the day. That's where we are. This isn't even John Lester and J.A. Happ territory, okay? This is way below that. You and I came on in one point. I looked back and I talked about this, I think, last time. Do the Cardinals have the deepest offense in the baseball? They don't have the deepest offense in the NL Central. They don't have the deepest offense maybe in the state of Missouri. Like, and the Royals are garbage.
I mean, what are we talking about? The offense scored 4 off Ohtani yesterday and scored 7 today.
I know, but again, Tyler O'Neill not producing. Where is Brendan Donovan, by the way? What is he doing at this point in time?
Nothing.
Paul DeYoung is still on this roster. Taylor Motter takes 2 at-bats. We're going to get to that here in a minute. Taylor Motter takes 2 at-bats today. He hadn't had an at-bat since the 19th of April. Why is he on the team? Juan Yepes continues to rake at AAA. Luken Baker was the player of the month. Or no, Liberatore was the player of the month. My apologies. I think Baker was like the offensive player of the month or something like that.
Stop talking for a second. Hold on.
Whoa.
Marmal just said Nolan Gorman had back tightness. But he also said Motter hit ahead of DeYoung because they were down 6 and they made a call to get Motter in the game.
They were down 4. It was 11-7. With a runner on second base.
When he came in the game, was it?
Yes.
I don't know why. Like, they weren't.
They were down 4. So I do appreciate that. Hopefully, Nolan Gorman.
No, I don't appreciate that. That's fucking stupid.
Also, you made a very good point. You made a very good. We are getting candid, Caleb, today. So welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West. Listen, you made a very good point. Once Motter goes in and the Angels counter, why not Alec Burleson?
I don't have an answer for you, and I don't know. Like, the only thing I thought we had to count on was a smart manager, and now he's acting like a dumbass. He doesn't even know the score, apparently, of the game. So
it was 11-7, by the way. I marked it down. Now, here's what I will say. I don't know what Juan Yepes has to do. I don't know what Luken Baker has to do. They're watching what is happening. I don't why Brendan Donovan is MIA all of a sudden. Why not? If Gorman is hurt, knock on wood, let's hope he is not. But if he's healthy, why is he not playing second base when we have a Juan Yepes or Luken Baker at DH? I don't understand why we can't get creative. You and I talked, and especially you, and I'm not throwing you under the bus for this because I agreed with you about how creative Ali had shown to be. He has not shown any of that this year at all. Nothing at all to get guys in the best position to put this team in order to win. And I've been on the record as of you to defend him, to say we're not firing Ali Marmol. I still believe we probably should not. I don't see Mo firing his third manager.
Why not?
However, what is going on?
Why not? What's it gonna hurt? Like I don't care. Here's where I'm at. Paul Goldsmith and Nolan Arenado don't have many years left of being great players. Do whatever you have to do to get this season back on track, and I don't give a fuck. Because Ali Marmol hasn't earned his job at this point. No one has. Clean house, if that's how you have to do. But here's the biggest problem, and the thing that I think, even if you are a believer that Ali Marmol should be fired, which I'm not really, to be honest with you. I like Ali Marmol. I think he's going to be a good manager for someone. He's probably going to be the scapegoat here, but he'll be a good manager for someone at some point in time. Even if you think it's Ali Marmol's fault and you hate him and want him fired, fine. Who hired Ali Marmol?
Right.
So then whose fault is it? Because John Mozeliak's done this 3 times now.
Yep.
So if you want him to hire another manager because you didn't trust him. You think he hired a bad manager with Matheny. You think he hired a bad one with Schilt. And now if you think Ali Marmol's bad, you think he hired a third bad one. You think the fourth one's going to be better?
Bingo. Because it's going to be
another. Talking about?
It's going to be another guy that they're going to get on the cheap with zero managerial experience. So what? I mean, this is what I also like over the. Let's be honest. Since 2015, one postseason series win. One. We fired all these guys. Matheny gone.
One
Mabry gone.
Postseason
Schilt
game
gone.
win.
Well, no, they won a series. They beat the Braves.
Since 2019, they've won 1 game.
I said 2015. Okay, that's fair.
Oh, okay.
I said 15, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We fired Mabry because everybody blamed him for the problems. We fired Matheny because everybody blamed him for the problems. We fired Schilt because everybody blamed him for the problems. We fired Jeff Albert and Mike Maddox. Everybody blamed him. Saw that all year last year. They walked. Now we're blaming Turner Ward, Dusty Blake, and Ali. But no one wants to talk about Mozeliak. No one wants to talk about DeWitt. The big announcement this week was putting the Stiefel patch on the sleeve. Don't care about that. That's a lot of money. I called this 2 years ago that all these sports are going to go to this. Okay, whatever. The Celtics have it on there. Stop telling me it's a classic uniform. They can't have it. They're going to have it. Well, I guess they said it was set up. I don't believe that either.
I don't care how some feel. Like you can say we're going to take a couple of days. Like you're coming home after the worst month, one of the worst first months in Cardinal history, and after Mike Shannon passes away, and you have a press conference to talk about that.
I agree. I tone deaf, but here's the other thing. Let me just say this. Last night, 45,000 in the stadium. Today, 41,000 in the stadium. Now this weekend will be a test because this week was Ohtani and Trout here. I get it. So Detroit coming in will be a test to see do the Cardinals show up, but it's a weekend. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like in the Midwest. If it's nice, it'll probably be full. That's what's going to continue to happen. By the way, you and I every day tell people every episode, go watch Cardinal baseball. I hate to tell people not to, and I'm not going to because it is enjoyable for so many folks. But something has to give, and it's not a bottom-up approach anymore. It's a top-down approach. And until something changes there, I feel like this is what we're stuck in because this is what we've been stuck in for the last 12 years.
Yeah,
Are you okay? What are you looking at?
I just don't even care. I don't care to talk about them. Like they don't.
Well, that is not good for our podcast for you to not. Okay,
I'm going to talk about it, but I don't. They don't care. Why do I care? Like,
okay, I do not believe that they don't care. Let's be honest.
I do.
You think the players do not care?
I think that if they cared, then why are they playing like this?
I do question one thing, and again, I'm not speculating because I'm not in there and I don't know anything. But you do question 2 guys who were on the Team USA for the WBC, who are proven vets, who are going in the Hall of Fame. Like at some point, maybe some heads need to roll at some point. Maybe they have. That's why I'm not going to speculate. But I would like to see Goldie and Nolan step up maybe a little bit. And maybe you need to be a little bit more vocal. You know?
I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. Like they're losing every game. They're not like bad teams don't even do this.
Agreed. Hold on. You're good.
Where are you going?
I dropped my AirPod.
Like even like bad teams don't lose at the first game of every series. Bad teams don't go 10-22.
Yeah, I don't know.
How bad are you? Like if here's the thing, if you're not, we all agree that this roster isn't horrible. Like even if you don't think it's great, it's definitely not 10-22 bad. There's no even arguing that. This is almost the same roster as last year, except maybe better, honestly, than it was start last year. And they won 93 games. So if it's not that the roster is 10-22 bad, then it's the players or the manager or whatever. But why is no one stepping up and performing?
Is it fair? And let me get your critique on this because I do like to get your takes on my questions because my questions rattle in my head. Is it fair to say that over the last few years, we've kind of sneaked by, sneaked or snuck? Journalism guy.
Snuck.
Okay, I think it's sneaked, but either way, we sneaked by in a terrible NL Central with a average to above average roster, only to get in and get pummeled in the playoffs every year. We got lucky with the 2020 COVID year to get in. 21, you have the miraculous 16-17 game win streak to get in. Last year, it took an epic Brewers collapse and us to play above par for the last 2 months to get in. I mean, is it fair to say that maybe we've been fugazied by this team for the last 4 years, that they got it, they sneaked in and really weren't as good as we thought they were? And maybe these guys that you and I have come on here and put our reputation at stake, which really doesn't mean anything, but talked about how good we think these guys are going to be, when really maybe this is just an average baseball team, and they're not this bad, but they weren't that good either.
I mean, if they are an average baseball team, they shouldn't be 12 games under 500. But no, like they have the middle of the order right now of Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Gorman, who's been great, Nolan Arenado, and Wilson Contreras. That's not a bad. Not many teams have that. Like bad team, the Brewers don't have that. The Pirates don't have that.
The Angels have had it for the last 4 years with Trout, Ohtani, Rendon,
but they've had two guys.
Okay, but I'm just
Rendon's horrible.
The two best. The two best.
Rendon is horrible.
Okay, well, you also had the other guys over. I mean, you had Upton, you had Ward, you've had guys like that who have had good. Brandon Marsh, you've had guys who've had good years there. All right, and you know what I'm saying. So my Jared Ross,
but that's
good.
Different.
We had a great year 1 year. So you've had a middle of the lineup like
organization. The Angels are the most dysfunctional organization in baseball. So no.
Well, maybe the Cardinals are too.
No, they're not. That's just dumb. They make the playoffs almost every year. That doesn't make any sense. But they're no, because they don't have Lars Nootbaar and Tommy Edman and Brendan Donovan and Dylan Carlson and Tyler O'Neill. They don't have those guys around those guys. They don't. So I'm not even going to get in this argument because we can't even argue that they have the same amount of talent because they don't and they haven't. I don't understand how it's the players. Like, why are you all underperforming? Why is Brendan Donovan so bad? Tommy Edman, here's the thing though, like even then you look at it, Nolan Gorman's raking. Wilson Contreras is raking. Tommy Edman has 5 home runs. If you told me all those things were happening and you told me and you asked me what our record would be, I probably would have said, I don't know, like 20-10.
Here's the thing. Coming in, a lot of the questions were these guys need to produce. I mean, Donovan, a 684 OPS and a 90 OPS plus. Burleson, a 687 OPS and an 88 OPS plus. Dylan Carlson, 630 and a 74 OPS plus. Lars Nootbaar has a 105 OPS plus. Great. He's a league average hitter. We all were talking about him being a fucking superstar.
No, not anymore. He doesn't. He had 4 hits today. There's no way it's a 105 still.
Well, okay. Well, it was as of coming into today. I apologize. The Baseball Reference has not updated. But either way,
get it on MLB.
You know, I mean,
he has a 793 OPS. Don't know. He's
so that went up today. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't great. This was not updated.
So I'm saying he's been great. He's only played 18 games and he has a 793 OPS. That's awesome. That's better than he was last year.
Okay. So again, the other guys you just disregarded. Jordan Walker had a 718 OPS.
Well, no, I get it. I'm just saying that Lars Nootbaar is not fair to lump in with the other guys because he's been one of our best hitters.
So maybe it's fair to say the other guys just aren't very good baseball players.
Brendan Donovan's a good baseball player. That's not fair.
He has 1 year. Let's be fair. He has 1 year of track record, Caleb. He has one.
Yes, but doesn't mean he's not a good baseball player.
Average. Let's say average, major league average. You can't win with that many guys. Like we thought this outfield was going to be loaded. They're right now in the bottom third in Major League Baseball in every offensive category. And that's with Newt being good lately over the last 18 games. Maybe we were wrong on everybody. That's all I can say is that I think maybe we got blinded by rainbows here. And now we're kind of paying the pot of gold, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like they got to perform. Why is Dylan Carlson had a huge moment yesterday. If they win that game and Giovanni Gallegos just doesn't shit the bed, like who knows? Who knows where this season goes? I don't know how they got it to even score 2 runs in the second inning today. That was as soul crushing of a loss as I have seen the Cardinals game have. That you were up off Ohtani. I know you were at a concert, so you weren't watching it.
I was.
That was the best game they've played in a long time. Like you had Nolan was back. Wilson had a huge hit. You had Gorman's homer off Ohtani. You had Dylan Carlson smoke a ball for a homer off Ohtani, and you have a 4-3 lead, and you can't hold the lead. Like, And it's not on Ollie. Like, that is not on Ollie. Giovanni Gallegos has been great. He's been the
Right.
best reliever on their team this year. So any of you that are blaming that on Ollie, what are you talking about?
Well, everybody
Yeah,
wants to
one-
blame it because Helsley had 10 pitches. But I thought Ollie did a really good job of explaining why that happened.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
here's the
not
thing. You want to
about
blame
pitch.
Ollie for that, but you don't but you forget what Mike Schilt did to Alex Reyes. Like, you can't keep getting Helsley up and getting him out there and getting him loose. And then when he gets hurt, you're going to say, oh, well, Ollie overused him. Well, you're pissed because he didn't use. Like, that's the problem. Is in that situation, it's no win. Like, players have to execute. Our pitching does not ever execute. Ever. Like, they don't hit spots. They don't throw the right pitches on counts. They don't execute late in the game. I don't know what to do anymore. Genesis Cabrera's been really good. Jordan Hicks has been better, but I don't
He's
know
been
what you
great.
do at this point. Like, it just feels like every game you knew, like, even when they were up 2-0, Jack, first pitch, base hit, next inning. Can't get an out, can't do anything. Like, that's where we are right now. And this with this pitching staff, Caleb, how's it going to get any better with this rotation?
It's not.
Right.
Well, actually, I guess the answer is it can't get worse, so it will get better. But what's that mean?
It could get worse.
Winning percentage? No, it can't. There's no way.
They could get swept by the Tigers, Caleb, who just come off,
If they
by
get
the
swept
way,
by the
sweeping the Mets.
Tigers, if they get swept by the Tigers, then everyone should be cleaned out of the clubhouse. Not
we
the players.
We kind of thought that with the Angels, Kay. Like,
Not
you
really,
talked about
the Tigers and the Angels are not the same.
the Tigers just swept the Mets.
I don't care. Have you seen the Tigers? Their best player swings at every pitch thrown his way.
At least we don't have to see Eduardo Rodriguez. Is that the silver lining here?
No.
Back to the organization. What do you take about former pitcher Paul Schwindel's comments yesterday about is it DeClerc? Is that the guy? Is that his name? Am I right on that?
Gary LaRocque.
LaRocque was not right. I knew it had a Q in there though. LaRocque, who's 70 years old or whatever he is, still running pitching analytics for the Cardinals.
There's no Q in his name.
Oh, I thought there was. I thought CQUE.
I think it's spelled like LaRoche.
Oh, okay. Either way, I'm wrong twice there. But what do you think about his comments? Essentially saying that he was telling them to throw the ball down the middle, which, by the way, let me explain before I get your answer. I understand that when you get into low A and single A, out of college, out of high school, out of Latin, wherever you're coming from, out of international ball, that the number one thing you want to teach is how to throw strikes. Then you hope that the velocity and everything else comes later or comes with it. I understand that. There is a process to all of this. However, it was hilarious to me that you have the director of baseball for the Cardinals telling the pitchers one thing, and then the coach is coming in saying, oh, no, don't do that.
Hold on. He didn't specifically say Gary LaRocque.
So he did not. You are correct.
That was who it was.
You are correct. That is true.
Anyone who's surprised that that's what's been taught, they chose Dakota Hudson over Sandy Alcantara and Zach Gallen. So am I surprised that this is how they think? They signed Steven Matz. Why would anyone be surprised that their pitching philosophy is fucked up?
Fair.
Look at their rotation. Matthew Liberatore is striking out like 13 guys per 9, and we're still giving Jake Woodford and Steven Matz opportunities. So it's not about the development. The whole thing is fucked up. I don't even understand. Like, how are you, John Mosaic, who's been in this sport for so long, who's watched it develop to the level it's at right now, evolve, I guess is a better word, and you don't understand what's happening?
So far behind. Again, we're playing checkers. We're playing checkers and the rest of the league is playing chess. That's what it feels like. And it feels like, as long as, I'm going to be honest with you, it does feel like as long as DeWitt is pulling the strings, and I know he's had success. I understand that with this team. So I get it, right? Since he bought it in, what was it, 2006? I don't even remember when it was, 96, whenever he bought it. I don't remember when it was, 96 maybe. And Mosaic have had success. But I think until it has to be almost a complete overhaul at this point. Because like I said, to be fair, we were getting in the playoffs, but we really weren't doing anything in the playoffs. So just getting the playoffs is great, and it's fun for the fans to just get there, and it makes the team more money, great, whatever. But they were not the elite team that I think you and I thought coming in they would be, despite looking back now, hindsight undefeated 2020. Looking back 2 months ago, we should have probably seen a lot of this coming. We didn't see 10-22 coming. I get that. Do you think Steven Matz makes another start for this team?
No, he should. Yeah, I do think he does.
Okay.
Do I think he should? No, I think he should be off the team. He's horrible.
What do you think about the booze in St. Louis? Not the drinking booze.
Do it louder.
Yeah, it's wild, right? Did you hear? It was so loud today.
Yeah, it was louder yesterday. I genuinely hope it hurts.
Yeah.
Because this isn't even just about a team underperforming. This is the most pathetic Cardinal team I've ever seen in my life. And it's not even close.
Yeah.
Like even 2007 was bad. I was only 5, so I don't remember it. But you had just won a World Series, so who cares?
Right.
This is the most pathetic team. I mean, Ali Marmol is not Mike Matheny at all. I think Ali Marmol is going to be a good manager. I think he can be a good manager now. This is worse than the Mike Matheny years right now. The end of it, after the Ishikawa home run, where Mike Matheny just went completely off the deep end into crazy town and was doing the dumbest shit you'll ever see in your life.
Throwing Michael Walk in.
Well, that was when that happened, and after that, he lost his mind. It just couldn't help himself and kept doing it. But this feels worse than that felt. That felt like a team that wasn't good enough to be good. This team feels like a team. Hold on, this team feels like it's just, how are you this bad? This team is not this bad. It's just not, like, talent-wise. I don't understand.
Do you think Schwindel's comments are just a microcosm of what's going on in the entire organization? That the minor leagues, like, he talked about how great his pitching coaches were at Peoria. And, do you think that those comments are, I've heard that about a lot of our coaches. Now, I know some people have a problem with the manager at Peoria. I don't know enough about him to make a comment or speculate on that. However, do you think that that is you've got, the right hand isn't doing the same thing as the left hand, and the left hand has no idea what the right hand is doing or why they're doing it? Do you kind of feel like that's what's happening right now in this organization? Because if you look through our minor leagues, we got some incredible prospects down there doing incredible things. The teams are playing well. But if you're I saw a guy today talk about blow up everything and trade for prospects. That sounds great, except we don't know how to handle our own prospects. So are you going to put a whole
great either?
But no, well, you know what I'm saying. Let me finish. Like, you know what I mean. But what the point is, we can't really get the best out of our own prospects. So why are you going to give us more? I don't
know if that's fair, given our best player this year is a prospect, but was a prospect last year. But I don't know. I'm not putting that much stock into what this guy said. I don't even know who he is. Like, let's be honest. He could just be some guy on Twitter that's a little bit salty.
He could be.
He wasn't very good. I'm not saying that is the case, but I'm saying I'm definitely not going to take everything he says as gospel. So I don't know. There's massive problems with pitching philosophy in this organization. Shocker. There has been for how long? When was the last time we had a good rotation? 2015?
Yeah.
That was a great rotation. It was Jaime Garcia and John Lackey. Yeah, so that was a great rotation. Waino, yeah. Since then, there's been problems. So, I mean, I don't know. And you look at the two of the best pitchers in baseball, Zach Gallen and Sandy Alcantara. Is it a coincidence that those guys came from us and are thriving somewhere else, and the guys that we have in-house aren't thriving here? Because I don't believe in coincidences, so I'm gonna say it's not.
Meanwhile, Randy hit another bomb today, but Matthew Liberatore is been dealing, so I'm okay with it. Yeah, he is very good. Okay, let's talk about that pitching. All right, were you shocked that Zach Thompson was sent down for Zuniga? Questionably, maybe arguably, not questionably, arguably our best lefty in the bullpen. I know he had a rough spot. I know this last 3 games have been a little bit rough. But when you hear the words, it's being sent down to be stretched out for 2024, when you also have heard the words that that's what he worked on in the offseason, was to get himself ready to start for this year, why do you need 8, 9, 10 months to get ready for next year when we could use him right here at the major league? He's arguably one of your best arms.
Let's be fair. The Cardinals didn't say that. That's what reporters said.
Well, where did they get? I mean, when Derek Gould said something, like you said, there's a reason he said it. He didn't.
He didn't say that. Katie Wu said it.
So did Derek Gould.
They didn't say he's stretched out for. They did not say he's getting stretched out for the 2024 rotation. They did say he's getting stretched out to be a starter, which is fine. I don't know. Zach Thompson wasn't pitching well, and Zuniga was fantastic in his first outing. So, I you know what I mean? Like, Zuniga was electric, and Thompson was not. So. I don't know if I can really question it. It's not like Zach Thompson was setting the world on fire. Genesis Cabrera and Joe Romero have both been better than him lately. But I get it. But I just don't know that, because I feel like everything we're talking about is not the problem. You know what I mean? None of this is going to fix anything. So it's almost like until there's a massive organizational shift right now that's going to get this team back on track, or there's something that comes up that there's some explanation as to why they're playing like this. I just don't know if any one decision can get me fired up one way or the other, because I just don't think it's going to fix the problem. This team is broken. They are broken right now. They are losing in a different way every game. Go over the last 6 games they've lost, 6 in a row. Every game they've lost in a different way. So what do you fix? Is it the rotation? Well, yeah, okay, the rotation was horrible today, but yesterday Michaelis was good enough for you to win. Monty was definitely good enough to win against Kershaw. So, okay, you go after the offense. Well, offense was good enough to win the last 2 games, but they got shut out by Kershaw. They struggled in LA and didn't hit a home run in LA. So they were the problem then. Go back to the Giants series. Okay, well, there were errors that cost you games and bullpen. Go back to yesterday. Bullpen cost you the game. What do you fix if the whole team sucks? So it's like there's a different thing every day. There's nothing to fix. There's no answer other than wait for these players to play to the back of their baseball cards. And if they don't, you're not going to win. That's every team.
Yeah.
Like if the Mets were out here, I know they just got swept, but let's say the Braves. If Austin Riley had a 600 OPS and Matt Olson wasn't playing well, and then you have defensive blunders from Ozzie Albies and Michael Harris II, they're probably going to be losing a lot of games. But they're not because they're playing like they should be playing. So I don't know the answer.
I don't know the answer either. It is incredibly frustrating, as we've talked about. Like I said, I don't know what you do from here. My hope is that Juan Yepes and Luke and Baker are on the roster tomorrow. I don't know if they will be.
They won't be. I do. They won't. Imagine bringing in Taylor Motter in that situation. If Ollie, I haven't watched it, so I haven't heard him say this, but if Ollie actually thought that they were down 6 runs when they were down 4, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like I said, I didn't hear it either.
So that would mean that they made that decision when Goldie was hitting because they were down 6 and Goldie hit the double, gets them down 4. You're not going to adjust when a righty comes in and you're now down 4. If Burleson hits a homer there, you're down 2 and you're in the game.
Just to go back to what I said, per Derek Gould's tweet, while the Jersey ad is getting all the attention, keep in mind the decision made by the Cardinals. They removed a productive lefty from the bullpen so he could go to the minors to prepare to compete for the starting rotation in 2024. That's per Derek Gould.
That's not a quote.
That was his tweet.
Okay, but it doesn't. Okay, whatever. I don't care.
Why would he say 2024 if he didn't know that?
If they need Zach Thompson back as a reliever, they can do that.
Here's what it tells me. Well, I understand that. I agree. But he probably should still be here. But either way, here's the thing. Look at Zach Thompson's starters numbers. You pointed them out. They haven't been great in the minors. Hopefully he's very good. Want him to be good. Love Zach Thompson. But it seems like he found a niche where he could throw 2 pitches instead of having to rely on 4. But hopefully he finds the other 2 and can do something like that. Here's what I'm hearing. We're going to now have 9 guys competing for the spots next year. So we're not going to sign any starting pitching next year. That's what it sure feels like they're setting us up for. Just like we did with the outfielders coming into this year.
I could have told you that before they sent him down.
Okay. Well, there you go. So hey, we're looking for, there's 2024. I'm glad I moved to the 504, bro.
I honestly, Dad, there was part of me last year. I was sad when they lost and I loved Yachty and Albert. Part of me was like, okay, we're moving on to the next chapter. There's no more of this, as much as I loved watching Albert, that was one of the most fun summers of my life to be able to watch what he did last year. No doubt. I loved watching Yachty's last days, even though they weren't great production wise. There was a part of me that said, okay, we kind of get to shift to, we got a lot of really talented young guys. We still got Nolan and Goldie. We're going to sign a catcher. It ended up being Contreras, which is great. We're shifting towards winning now. We're over this, any distractions in the way. Not to say that Albert didn't help us win. He definitely did. Without him, we don't make the playoffs, I don't think. So that's not what I'm trying to say. But you get my point. It's now all in on these young guys. We're going to do whatever we can. Hopefully try and win with Goldie and Nolan. Let's shift towards that. And it's fallen apart. And it's not even my birthday yet. It's May 4th. So I don't know. It's so disappointing because I know I'm here and I'm angry. And I wouldn't be angry if I didn't think this team was better. If I thought this team was just bad, I wouldn't be angry. I would just be like, yeah, what do you expect? They're bad. But they're not bad. So why are they playing like this? It's unexplainable.
2 things. We didn't spend a lot of time on it, but I do believe that the Helsley Gio thing, the anger there was unfounded. Gio hangs 2 sliders. We seem to hang a lot of sliders on this team, by the way. I felt that wasn't a bad decision. Let's be honest. I did not feel like I feel like Ollie got a lot of hate because the results weren't that way, but the lead up to the decision was still the correct decision. Now, let me have you put on one of your 18,000 hats that you wear. What would you do today on May 4th, coming off of this another horrendous loss, still have yet to win an opening series game, 6 losses in a row to the Angels and the Dodgers after you lost 3 of 4 to the Rockies. What would you, Caleb Noble, GM, president of baseball operations, do right now to fix what is going on, or to at least put a Band-Aid on it to maybe get some momentum rolling for this team?
I don't think there's an easy solution, but this is what I would do. I would DFA Taylor Motter. He'd be gone. I would have done that. I would have never had him on the team.
They did do that.
He'd be gone, and I wouldn't outright him to Memphis. He'd be gone.
Yes, agreed. Sorry, no need to play him in Memphis.
And I'm not against it. Taylor Motter's probably a great human. I mean, no disrespect to him, but he's not a good baseball player. So see ya. Jake Woodford gone down to AAA. Steven Matthew in the bullpen, and I would tell him he's not starting again this year. And then I'd put Matthew Liberatore in the rotation. He'd be starting on whatever Matt's next start would be. Maybe that's Sunday. I don't know what it would be. I think it's Sunday. I'd probably, and I think you even have to make a more substantial move than that. I would send Alec Burleson down, and I'd call back Jordan Walker and Juan Yepez.
Okay, you'd call Walkerson like 150 at AAA.
I don't care.
Okay, okay. You wouldn't call back Yepez and Lucan Baker, like the guy who deserves to be here?
I mean, I would call back Yepez, but I don't think I'd call Lucan Baker up because I don't think him and Yepez are redundant. They're not going to be able to play at the same time. You can't play Goldie, Lucan Baker, and Yepez in the same lineup.
You can if you wanted to. You play Yepez in the outfield.
Okay, then you're just going to play bad defense again.
I mean, you're doing it with Burleson, and you did it with Walker anyway.
Burleson's better than Yepez in the outfield. I've seen Yepez drop fly balls.
I get it. I get it. I just feel for Lucan Baker, who is literally killing it right now and could probably be adding some thump into the line. And like you said, the last two nights offense, not really the problem, but it does feel like there might need to be a shakeup. I mean, is it plausible? Do you see a world where Brendan Donovan gets sent down or something? I mean, you've talked about on here, a big name might need to go down. Yeah. Maybe it's Brendan Donovan, not Alec Burleson.
That if they send down Brendan Donovan, they're keeping Taylor Motter on the roster.
Well, you got DeYoung, you got Gorman, and you got Edman. So you don't have to keep Taylor Motter.
Great. I get to watch DeYoung play over Donovan. That's going to solve our problem.
However, now maybe with the back problems with Gorman, that kind of changes that.
I don't want to see DeYoung play over Brendan Donovan. So I'm good. I'm good. I'll keep Donovan on the roster.
Okay. I think you're probably right. I'm doing all I can as the founder, leader, president, CEO, CFO of the Lucan Baker fan club to try to get him on this major league roster. But obviously everything you're saying is very logical and I understand it. Yeah. I just feel for the guy. So can we go and trade him to the Tampa Bay Rays where he'll go on and hit 30 home runs and be a successful human who will play in a lot of postseason games and have big moments in his life?
Can I give you, I mean, that'd be great for him. Can I give you an honest answer about what I would do for this team?
Well, that's what I asked for.
I would do. No, here's my honest answer about what you can do, not what I would do. I told you what I would do. You can't do anything. They had to play better because these are the players you chose to ride with. Like I say, at the end of the day, the front office made their bets and they're not paying off. Yeah, the players have to play better or they're going to lose a lot of games. That's all. That's the end of the story to me.
You are only 20. You're approaching your 21st birthday. Shout out to you. That's coming soon. We'll celebrate that on Sunday on our next pod when hopefully we're not celebrating 9 in a row losses. However, in your 20 years, have you ever seen a team go from so competitive? I don't want to say great but they won 92 games last year. So really, really good. Won the NL Central to this bad with literally, I'm not joking, almost the exact same roster. Granted, Yachty, Albert gone, enter Contreras, enter Burley. Essentially, right? That's
and
essentially
Walker
it.
At one point.
Right, Walker, but that's essentially it. That's literally the only difference. Have you ever seen a team, like I'm not talking about an individual. We've seen that happen. I'm talking about 24 fucking guys essentially become this bad in a year.
I have an answer. Yeah, I have. But I've seen a more drastic decline. The Giants won 107 games 2 years ago, and were like a 75 win team last year.
And really only lost what they lose. Well, they lost Posey. They lost Kevin Gausman, dude. We didn't lose a Kevin Gausman.
Okay, they lost Posey. We lost Yachty. What's the difference?
Okay, come on. Okay, they lost. Stop.
I know, but I am saying a singular team that has had a drastic.
That's fair.
Yeah, I've seen it.
That's fair.
But
also they had a ton of injuries. Sorry, didn't mean to step on that.
No, the Giants were a flash in the pan, and we all knew it. They knew it, I think. Like, that's what happened. Have I seen a team that's been consistently good, like the last 2 years, like 90 wins to 93 wins? That's not a great team, but it's a good team. Fall to this? No. I mean, they're 20. I mean, they're 10 and 22. It's hard to overstate how fucking bad that is.
I know.
You're winning less than 33% of your games. Less than a third of your games, Dad. Like, this is you luck into 33% of your wins.
That we've got... Oh, sorry. I thought you were done. My apologies.
I don't have anything else.
Okay. Now that we've got Kareem out of college, like worrying about the books, and he's focusing back on the minor leagues, I am going to ask him. Maybe you can ask him because I know you talk to him way more than I do. outside of Liberatore, is there another arm at the minor league level that is ready to come up here and take the spot of one of these guys? Drew Verhagen is back to being bad, right? I mean, he was okay today. Fine. He got a lucky strike 3 call on a ball that is 8 inches off the plate. Either way, is there a guy down there? Do you know this? And maybe if not, you can find this out, because I have been watching Memphis games, but a lot of these guys are so young. They almost feel like the guys who made the jump from last year, AA to AAA. I don't know if they're ready to get to the big league level yet. But outside of Liberatore, I mean, Zuniga coming up great. Losing Wilkie Rodriguez hurts. What do you think there? Is there? I mean, because maybe you need a shake up there too. I don't know. Maybe we're just grasping at straws, and this is what 2023 Cardinal baseball is going to look at.
It's not maybe. That's definitely what you're doing, but we can talk about it. Jake Walsh has been really good. So he's an option. He's on the 40-man, I believe, as well. Graceffo's hurt.
Right.
So.
But not bad, right?
I don't know.
Guys, welcome to the podcast. This is where we are. But here's the thing. When you and I started this podcast, we did this because we're fans of the team. But we're also not, we always try to be logical with our thoughts, with our answers. And right now you're getting a lot of emotion, but it's also, I feel like it's a logical emotion right now, if that makes any sort of sense.
I'm not sorry for any of it.
Keep those pathos logos. I don't know. But my point is, like, I feel like you get on Twitter and you see some of the dumbest shit written of all time, because people say some of the dumbest shit of all time. But on here, it does feel like maybe at least we are trying to work our way through a problem. I just think you're right. I think, honestly, you are 100% in your synopsis of the belief that I don't think there is one fix. I don't think there's 2 fixes. I think you have to have, I texted you earlier, do we not have a pitcher who can nut up? Like, and I hate to say that, but we don't. Like, we don't have a guy. Every inning we score, it seems like the next inning, our pitchers are going to give up runs. We don't have a guy. We don't have a guy at the top of the rotation who can come out every 5th day. And I said that last time. We don't have it. Montgomery's been great, but that's it.
I mean, you can't. He's been that guy, but you can't have one.
No, everybody else is terrible.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to even defend anyone at this point in time. Like, I love Jack Flaherty. I hope he's great. He's not.
No.
So what do you want me to do? Like, be better. If you want to be the Joker, then be the Joker. Right now, you're not. Like, now you're
everything burning behind him was the team today. If you're gonna put that video out, like, it's kind of like Dylan Brooks, right? If you're gonna poke the bear, then let's poke the fucking bear, but let's go ahead and let's do something about it.
Yeah, and I just can't imagine being in that clubhouse right now. I can't. I can't imagine being Paul Goldschmidt or Nolan Gorman or someone who's performing. Like, Nolan Arenado, I love Nolan Arenado, but he's still bad. So whatever. Like, he still had bad at bats again today. He had a good game yesterday, but you can't have one good game and expect me to pat you on the back because you're $35 million superstar. Please play better, because I don't want to be mad at you anymore. But it's like Wilson, man. He's been great, and he came here from the Cubs, and now the Cubs are better. Oh, it's a nightmare. We're living a nightmare. We're in. We
got the Tigers coming up. The Tigers, I think, are 13-17. They sit right in the middle. That's terrible. They're terrible. Like, they are. They're not good.
Horrible.
They have almost nobody in their lineup that scares you. They have one pitcher, I think, in their rotation that's below a 4.5 ERA. He pitched today, shut down the Mets, Eduardo Rodriguez. We don't have to see him. None of that means anything, dude. That's what, like, I would like to predict that, oh, hey, the Tigers coming in, we could get healthy. They're better than we are right now. Like, they are better than we are right now. But there is an opportunity right in front of us. That means nothing. We've had 15 opportunities right in front of us, and we've done shit with all of those. So I don't know what you say at this point in time. Here's what I will say. I'm not even going to break down the Tigers. It's not worth it. I'm not going to get into that. Do you want to make a prediction on the series? Because I'm going to say they're going to go 1-2.
They get swept.
Okay, there we go. Boom.
They're not even a real baseball team right now.
Let's get to something good that happened with the Cardinals. David Freese elected to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask you another question that you're going to yell at me for.
Oh, great.
Because we've talked about this on here before. But have you ever seen a guy get elected to a Hall of Fame off of one game? Because we now have.
No, because he got elected. Because without him, we don't even get to the World Series. Next question.
Well, without David Eckstein, we don't win a World Series, and he's not in the Cardinal Hall of Fame.
Okay, when did David Eckstein win the NLCS MVP?
He won the World Series MVP.
So did David Freese. David Freese had the most.
You understand? Like, don't be dense.
Yeah, okay, but stop though. Like, that's so dumb. David Freese had the most. What iconic moment did David Eckstein have that you can remember?
He won the against the Tigers.
We're
revisiting it tonight, this weekend.
What moment that he
I
have,
understand.
that you're
Listen,
like, that lives on forever.
I'm pumped for David. I'm glad he's in. You have said it before. I am fine with him getting in because it's part of the story of the Cardinal story. I understand that. I think it sucks for Joaquin Andujar. I think it sucks for Matt Morris, who had some really good years here. I didn't get the Edgar Renteria thing. I loved Edgar Renteria when he was here. I don't think he's a Cardinal Hall of Famer. I just think we got to be careful what we're doing by calling these people Hall of Famers. But I do agree with you that David Freese, and I'm pumped for him. Hometown kid, Cardinal Hall of Fame. It's like Isringhausen. Like, I'm pumped for those guys. I really am. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm really happy for him. I think that's a great thing. I really do.
Here's what I think. David Freese is one of one. There's not another David Freese that's going to get elected. So we're going to have to be careful because there's not another one. He's one of, that's why he's in. He's in because he's the only one that's done what he did. Banners fly forever, right? And we don't win them anymore because we don't try to. But David Freese is the only, he's single-handedly, not single, there is more Chris Carpenter, I get it. But
who else hit 3 home runs? Let's relax.
In the game where we blew them out. Okay. And then did nothing the rest of the series. Fine. David Freese single-handedly won that game for them. I know Lance Berkman, whatever.
You guys are taking shots at Alan Craig right now. Your favorite Cardinal.
I'm not, but they were down 3 when that happened. That was at the time. Did that not feel like a meaningless home run? It did, didn't it? Okay, move on. Anyway, gosh, you're really bothering me here. Either way, the David Freese story and no one gets a lateral ovation than David Freese. He has the legacy. He was going to get in there anyway. It's it's like TJ Oshie in the Blues. Because of that USA thing, the USA that he did. I'm like, okay, hold on, guys. The penalty shots. I don't know. I think I had a stroke. The penalty shots. It's like TJ Oshie became a legend in St. Louis.
How many Dunkin' coffees did you have today?
Basically, because of something he did when he wasn't even playing for the Blues. But I don't know. Like, there's a special place for David Freese. It's like when I think that Curt Flood should be in the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Not because Curt Flood is as good as Barry Bonds or Pete Rose or other people that aren't in. That's not why, but I think there are special things you can make. And David Freese, he feels like someone, when you are walking through the Cardinal Hall of Fame, let's say when his plaque gets in there, are you going to look at David Freese and be like, why the hell is David Freese in the Hall of Fame? Are you going to be confused?
Problem.
Are you going to be confused and say, I just don't know who this guy is. Who's David Freese? No, you're going to be like, that makes sense.
No.
He won you with the 11th World Series and maybe the last one this organization's ever going to win. So, I think maybe we can be okay with it.
Jose Oquendo also in, right? Did I see that?
How's that just now happening?
Well, those are team. Yeah, I agree. And then some other guy, I'm not going to lie, I don't think I'd heard of.
I don't remember. Who was it? I don't remember.
But I'm happy for him and I'm happy for his family. I'm glad that he's in,
yeah.
But I don't think I'd heard his name in my life.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just don't think we should be good for David Freese. I don't.
Agreed.
I don't even like that conversation because it's not like the Cardinals put him in. The fans put him in.
I was saying it as the cynic, bro. I don't actually believe it. I think David Freese deserves to be in. You convinced me back in the day when he got on the ballot that he should be in. I was just kind of being sarcastic, trying to make you smile a little bit since you are Captain Pissy Pants today. So let's go ahead and try to do that. I agree with you. David Freese should be in. I'm pumped for him. I think it's awesome. I think he is part of Cardinal lore, and he's our last superhero that we've had as a Cardinal.
It might be the last one we ever have. So. Our superstars don't even do anything. So,
2 more things before we get out of here. We're going to push the power rankings back to Sunday. I can't even talk about other teams right now.
Do we have to do them?
Yeah, I want to do them. I love them. I like to watch these other teams. I'll do them. I'll do them.
You do them.
We're going to do the mail. By the way, we got a lot of good mailbag comments. Keep those coming. Thank you. We're going to get to those on Sunday. We'll get to those Sunday afternoon when we do that. Hopefully coming off a Cardinal dub. Yeah.
What the hell is Nolan Arenado thinking right now?
I don't know.
Hey, Nolan, you left 150 mil on the table and you're on a shit show of a team in a city that's booing you. How's it feel?
Well, he's part of the shit show, to be fair.
I know, but imagine being him right now. You could at least be rich.
I know.
That's tough. It's tough.
All right, 2 things. First of all, let's end it on a good note.
Why?
I love Wander Franco.
Yeah, he's awesome.
What he did last night, throwing the ball in the air, catching it, and throwing the guy out. I love it. The old whites hate it, which makes me love it even more.
Brian Reynolds doesn't like it either.
I don't care about Brian Reynolds either, but I loved it. I thought it was awesome. The baseball's fun, guys. It's okay to let players have fun. Now, if he throws one in the stands, he has to deal with that, right? Like then there's repercussions.
Here's the thing. As a fan, I think it's cool. If I'm his coach, I'm saying you don't ever fucking do that again.
So
because if he
you're
drops
Lou
it,
Brown. Is what
no,
you're
if
telling
he,
me?
yeah, I am. Nice catch, kid, but don't ever fucking do it again. Yeah, because if
Nice catch,
he,
mate. Don't
if he,
ever
because if
fucking do it
he
again.
drops it and you risk it out, like that's just stupid.
I
But
get it.
to be honest with you, when I saw it, I didn't. Maybe I sound like old fast. I wasn't mad about it by any means. It didn't make me angry, but I was kind of like, what was that? Like that wasn't even cool. I don't know what you just did and why you did it. Like why did you do that? I didn't understand it. Like it was like you're not the Globetrotters. I was confused because when I saw it, it wasn't like, oh, a bat flip. That's
I
awesome.
loved
Look
it.
at the energy. But I saw, I was like, why did you do it? Like what I was confused because how many times has Wander planned that out? And how did that come to be? Because I've never seen that before.
I've never seen it either. I've
It
never
didn't make
seen
me
it
angry
either.
at all. I wasn't like, oh,
No.
Wander, don't do
You
that.
know what?
But I was
You know,
kind
the
of
only
like,
thing
what?
the only thing that would have made it better is if he was blowing a bubble when he did it. That would have been even better. Like that would have been great.
He's so sick too. I love Wander. His
Hit a bomb
flair
last
when
night
he
also,
plays the
by the
game.
way.
His flair when he plays the game is on another level.
Speaking of flair, Ronald Acuna hit a ball that still hasn't landed in the upper
Awesome.
deck, in left center in City Field, third deck. I don't know what they estimated it as, but I heard some about maybe 515 is what it should have been. No, it should have been like 560. I don't know if I've seen a ball hit like that in a long fucking time.
I don't think I've ever seen a ball hit like that in City Field. Ever.
I mean, Bryce hit one, and was it in Philly last year? Remember that, like, was one, or in Washington? Where was it? I don't remember where he hit it. One of the farthest I've ever seen. But that one was wild. Shout out Ronald Acuna, so much fun to watch. Thought he separated his shoulder when he got hit by a pitch too.
That was so weird. That was
weird.
He's fine though, thank you. But also Jack Flaherty's, yeah. Okay. Jack Flaherty had a funny quote after the game. He said, "My hand's fine. I got taken out because I sucked."
Well, good for. I mean, that's what you got to say. Like, what else
That's
can you
true.
say if you're Jack Flaherty?
It's true,
right.
but like,
Yeah.
I don't want to watch his post game because I still love Jack and he's pissing me off.
So do I.
And I still want him to be great, but he gets so pissy in post game press conferences when he's bad. He wears his emotions on his sleeves and he's dealing with it too. Like he doesn't hide from it, which I guess I respect. But I thought that was funny. All right, let's get out.
Two more
here.
things. Sorry. Bryce Harper's back. That's great for baseball.
We're in a cast.
5 months after having Tommy John surgery, and he's wearing this massive, like, it's not a cast. First of all, it's like a splint, whatever thing. What do you call it?
That's something you're supposed to play baseball in. I don't think.
Right, and then he's got an oven mitt on his hand that's like this long. But he had a double, so he's back. Good for Bryce. Then the last thing I want to say, because I do think let's end this on a very happy note. How fucking cool is it to see Liam Hendriks yesterday in the presser with the shirt that said "struck out cancer"? I am so fucking pumped for him and his family. He is a great dude, and I'm so happy for him. That White Sox needed something because their fan base is like ours right now. Yeah, I am so happy for him. So happy for Liam Hendriks, and that's so much bigger than baseball, but it is still part of the baseball world that we live in.
Yeah, and man, that's something you can rally behind if you're the White Sox. Like they're I think they won their 4th in a row today. That's great. I hope it's a rallying cry for them, but also it's just awesome. I love Liam Hendriks. I always have. His personality is amazing. The dude's infectious. He's been on the Chris Rose rotation a few times with Lucas Giolito. He's great. And Giolito's great today too, by the way. But I'm happy for him. Obviously, very scary. Like you don't want to hear anyone has cancer, especially lymphoma, which is just horrifying.
Yes.
I'm really glad he's okay, but I thought it was awesome. And the way I'm surprised how he looks great. He looks like he didn't lose any weight during that process.
No,
they said he was still throwing bullpens and lifting a ton of weights. He was like, I'm not letting this. I'm just gonna keep doing what I do. And I'm happy for him that he beat it so quickly. But yeah, it's great. It's really great. Those stories are great. Like Trey Mancini, that story is still amazing. You never want to see it have to happen. Karis LeVert and the NBA. You never want to have to see people go through that. But when they come on the other side like this, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Just so pumped to see that. So, all right, you ready to get out of here because we've had enough. Yeah. We've had a lot. We had a lot to say. There was a lot.
Did we say
to
anything?
There.
I don't remember anything.
I felt like we said a lot in one stream of consciousness, which is what we needed to do. So again, guys, all of you watching and listening to this, thank you so much. Your support has been incredible. Continue to hit those subscribe buttons. Continue to follow us on our socials. Continue to interact with us. That's what we love. We love to hear from you guys. Had a nice little chat going the other day on YouTube. Neither one of us were involved. bunch of different people who are watching were involved in that. That's cool. Hopefully when Caleb comes down here, we can figure out YouTube live. That's the hope. I've been doing some research. Maybe we can do 2 or 3 lives a week. I'd like to do that. I think that would be really
It
fun.
depends on how they're playing. If they're still, if we get to June and they're 20 and 45, I'm not doing a live stream.
There is a chance that June 1st we become a Houston Astros podcast. So, stay tuned for that.
Okay, before we get out of here, because I don't, are they going to turn this fucking thing around?
I'm not even going to get into it. I don't know.
Like, this is crazy. I don't think we're even giving this justice, how fucking crazy what's happening is.
I know.
I
don't think there are words to do that.
Someone has to get canned. I don't care if it's a scapegoat, not Ollie. I still love Ollie, but someone else.
It'll be Michael Gersh, the guy who does the guy that nobody knows what he does, even him.
He's the one. Actually, he's the one that made the Montgomery trade happen. He's the only one that should be safe.
No, but poor guy. He will be the one. He'll be the one that.
It'll be him, and then Randy Flores will be promoted.
And Taylor Motter.
Nothing will change.
It'll be him and Taylor Motter. Those will be the moves.
Hey, Taylor,
right there. We're getting rid of Taylor Motter and Michael Gersh. You're fucking fired. That's going to be the answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Cardinal fans, listen. I'd like to tell you to relax. Don't. Go watch Cardinal baseball this weekend if the weather is nice, but also don't be mad that if they fucking suck, to get up and leave, like in droves. Don't be afraid of that. That's okay. Bring your flask, bring your unopened Coke, buy the hot dogs from the very nice lady who works right across the street from the left field bleachers, right field bleachers, makes great hot dogs. Buy theirs. Then you're not supporting Cardinal concessions. Have a great time. Enjoy Cardinals. But if they suck, don't be afraid to get up and leave. That's what I'll say. Right?
Yeah. And,
until then, we will be back on Sunday. We will be celebrating one of our hosts' birthdays that day. So that'll be very cool. Hopefully with a nice little win. Caleb thinks they're going to get swept. Pissy Pants hopefully is in a little bit better mood on Sunday.
We will see. Even if they could win all 3, I still won't be in a better mood.
We will see. Guys, we will talk to you soon. Everybody stay safe. Take care of each other. We'll see you soon. May the 4th be with you. Go Cards.
Let's get out of here. God.